Climate change is a serious problem and changes need to be made to stop its progression. The definition of climate change, defined by Oxford Living Dictionary by Oxford University, is a change in global or regional climate patterns, in particular a change apparent from the mid to late 20th century onwards, attributed largely to the increased level of atmospheric carbon dioxide produced by the use of fossil fuels. Climate change is real and is brought on by what humans are leaving behind. If people continue to choose not to listen to the facts and do not make changes soon, scientists agree that the state of our planet will get progressively worse. In this speech, the main causes for, evidence of, and absolute need for solutions to global warming will be explained in depth. Climate change is occurring because the atmosphere traps the heat that humans let off through chemicals that are going towards space. Scientists refer to this as the greenhouse effect. This is because greenhouses keep heat inside through their special structure in a way that is similar to the Earth's atmosphere trapping gases in its first two layers. Carbon dioxide levels and other man-made emissions have been leaking into our atmosphere at increasingly alarming rates. This is causing the global temperature to increase. In fact, 16 out of the 17 hottest years ever recorded occurred after the year 2001, according to NASA in the article Climate Change, How Do We Know?, written in 2017. Specifically, climate change has caused the ocean's temperature to go up, sea levels to rise, ice caps to melt, and extreme weather such as hurricanes to hit worse and more frequently. Climate change seems to be a more noticeable and urgent problem in some places more than others. For example, areas in the northern hemisphere have faced more pressing concerns as time has passed and the years have gotten warmer. This has been shown through many different forms of research. NASA states in 2017 in Global Climate Change that the Arctic ice minimum has gone down 13.3% for every decade that passes by. It's evident from satellite images that the amount of snow cover in the northern hemisphere has severely decreased over the past 50 years. If human behavior regarding gas emissions isn't addressed and resolved, the problems we are currently facing will only grow in size and danger. With the ice melting, there's a very real possibility that animals will lose their habitats. This has already happened to the bramble camelones, who are the first species to go extinct from climate change. According to National Geographic in their 2016 article, First Mammal Species Goes Extinct Due to Climate Change, the bramble camelones went extinct specifically because of rising water levels that reduced the vegetation in their habitat so much that the species were not able to survive. If nothing is done to stop climate change, these mammals will only be the first of many to die off. Other animals, such as polar bears, are already losing their habitat due to the ice caps melting and disappearing. This is just the tip of the iceberg for how climate change has and will continue to affect animals unless there is a drastic change. The weather will continue to get more extreme as greenhouse gases build up. There are over 1,300 scientists involved in the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, or IPCC. These scientists predict that just over the next 100 years, the Earth will see a 2.5 to 10 degree Fahrenheit increase. They also predict that the global sea level will rise 1 to 4 feet by the year 2100. To put this in perspective, the global sea level has only risen 8 inches since 1880. The sea level is predicted to rise due to the added water from ice as it melts and the expansion of seawater as it warms. The Arctic Ocean will virtually be ice-free in the future, according to these scientists. This would prove to be catastrophic to the animals who call this ice home and use it as a way to provide food and shelter for themselves and their families. Climate change is a real and scary threat. It is not only dangerous for humans, but for every living being on this planet. Some changes have begun, but there is a long road to go. The most important change to be made is education. Many people don't believe that climate change is real. I would suggest that everyone who doesn't believe in climate change should simply do some research on the subject. There should be more awareness of what is occurring to the planet that we live on. Currently, 195 countries have signed the Paris Agreement that pledges to keep warming below 2 degrees Celsius. This is a start on the journey to stopping global warming. Another big thing that needs to happen is stopping the burning and use of fossil fuels. When burned, they emit gases into the air that greatly contribute to the greenhouse gases that are currently surrounding our planet. In 2016, the Union of Concerned Scientists stated in their article, The Hidden Cost of Fossil Fuels, that in 2014, about 78% of the emissions stuck in the Earth's atmosphere are energy-related emissions of carbon dioxide. Reduced use of fossil fuels has already started on a small scale, but needs to be increased to be effective. Not only does the use of fossil fuels need to be stopped, but the widespread form of energy needs to be changed. If each person took a little bit of time to reduce their footprint, the world would be much better off. Another way to decrease the effects of climate change is to stop deforestation. The Union of Concerned Scientists article, Global Warming Solutions, says, tropical deforestation accounts for about 10% of the world's heat-trapping emissions, equivalent to the annual tailpipe emissions of 600 million average U.S. cars. If society doesn't make these changes quickly, Earth is on its way to a complete disaster. Climate change is occurring due to human waste and therefore needs to be fixed by humans. It's getting increasingly worse as the years go by. Our planet is on a downward spiral that needs to be changed before it ruins the lives of future generations. The negative effects of climate change will reach every living thing over time. To prevent this from happening, each person needs to contribute to making a change, such as reducing their use of fossil fuels. Unless this happens, climate change will ruin Earth and leave an uninhabitable mess for humans and animals. Climate change is a serious problem and needs to be remedied by the cause, us.